Are you hearing what I'm saying? It is time for us. We already live in a great country. We already work. Come on, you work for a phenomenal organization. You do meaningful and phenomenal work. Are you hearing me? It's time to take control. All right, so here's the first thing I need you to do for me. Change your language. Change the language. Change the language. Stop saying pandemic. Pandemic was like in March. Like you can't say pandemic in March, in April, in May. Like you can't keep saying pandemic. Why? Because if you say pandemic, it has a negative connotation and you're going to get negative outcomes. Come on, come on, come on, come on. What you need to say, you say, what do I need to say? Well, I want you to, like, free will, make up your own thing, but I'm going to tell you what I said. After March, after April, I was like, okay, May, this thing don't like it's going nowhere. I can't watch CNN all day. I can't watch Fox all day. I can't watch CNBC all day because all I keep hearing about, is this pandemic, and all I keep hearing about is this loss and this lack. And I keep seeing numbers of people who have coronavirus and then those who died, and the numbers are going like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. Like, and at some point, it was just getting overwhelming, right? And so I had to come up with my own name for it, right? And so instead of saying pandemic, I said this is a pause on greatness and time to be phenomenal. I said I'm putting a pause on greatness. Something has come. I got to put a pause on greatness so I can get to phenomenal. What am I saying to you? I had to shift my perspective. And what I realized is that there are some areas that used to be great for me that no longer exist, that land is no longer open. But we still live in America. There's still wealth in this country. There's still phenomenal resources in this company. There's still fiscal, material, and human resources. Like, we have not lost. Everything is not lost. There is a shift. Oh, you missed what I said. There is a shift. And so the life that I once knew does not exist anymore. As the #1 motivational speaker in the world, I can't travel to Houston on plane. I can't travel to Dallas. I can't travel to Charlotte. I can't go to New Orleans. I can't go to Chicago. I can't go to New York. I can't go to San Antonio. I can't go to California. I can't go to San Diego. I can't go to LA. Are you hearing me? Greatness that I once knew was over, and it was time to put a pause on that and shift. Why? Because the resources or the way I used to do things, that methodology has to be shifted. The way in which I do things have to shift. I'm doing it now in a studio. Things had to shift. But it didn't mean that those opportunities were gone. Stop saying pandemic. I say phenomenal. Stop saying pandemic. I said there was a pause on greatness. Now there's an opportunity to be phenomenal. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Change the language. First, think about those you love every single day. Think about the things that you could do for them. Think about the life that they could have in this country. And know that in other countries, it does not matter who you work for. It does not matter how hard you work. It does not matter because the opportunities in third world countries don't exist. There are opportunities that still exist for us. It's just a shift. It's just a shift. And we've got to change our perspective so we can see the shift. It's not that it's not there. Change your glasses, boo. Change your glasses. You've got the wrong ones on, or put some glasses on. There are still opportunities. All right, so number two. Number two, never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, for those of you who don't know, the origin of this quote, it's from, yours truly, Winston Churchill, who was actually in England at a time when Hitler was trying to destroy, annihilate Great Britain as it was known. All of their history, their traditions, their customs, he wanted to annihilate, take over, destroy. And so Winston Churchill, in an ability, right, with the ability to get his people to shift their perspective, not to see Hitler, not to see the war, not to see themselves as victims, but Victor said, look, never let a good crisis go to waste. And so it was about 5 years ago that my wife was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I'll never forget the day she called home. I'll never forget the day she called me and was like, something's wrong, right? We went to our physician and we found out that next week that she had multiple sclerosis. Listen to me very closely. Never let a good crisis go to waste. This phenomenal season, remember, I'm not calling it that other thing. All right, right. This phenomenal season, although it's going to say goodbye to some things I once knew, and I have to pivot, I have to make some adjustments. There are great things all around me. And so guess what? And so I had to look at my wife being diagnosed with MS. I had to look at it as a good crisis. Why? Because if we looked at it in a negative way, let me just explain to you the two choices that I had, right? So the first choice, the physician began to explain to me that because she had 7 lesions on her brain, right, what that could do to her memory, short-term, long-term, what that could do to her cognitive functionality. Yep, that's what she explained. What it could do to her spinal cord, meaning that 1, she could be forgetful to the point that, okay, we won't go there. 2, with her spinal cord, that the messages from her brain would not travel to her spinal cord properly, right? And it means that she could be in a wheelchair. She could use the use of her arms or use the use of her legs, or it could alter her mobility. Come on, it could change her eyesight. Listen to me, guys. When I walked out the room, I had a choice. I had a choice to listen to that and believe that, or say, never let a good crisis go to waste. Never let a good crisis go to waste. We're going to actually take this chronic illness and we're going to use it to our advantage and not to our disadvantage. Oh, you're not hearing what I'm saying. Never let a good crisis go to waste. I'm not talking about a progressive, phenomenal season. I'm talking about somebody who was diagnosed factually with multiple sclerosis. So I looked at all of the opportunities, not the obstacles. I looked at all the strengths and not the weaknesses. I saw the good. So let's change our diet. I saw all the good. Let's exercise more. I saw all the good. Let's spend more time together. I saw the good. I'll go to every doctor's appointment. I'll go to every eye exam. I'll go to every MRI. Whatever you do, I'll do it. When you give yourself the injection in the left arm, in the right arm, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'll be right there with you. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I'll squeeze your hand. I'll distract you when you have to give yourself the shot. Are you listening to what I'm saying? I looked at all the opportunities, not the obstacles. I looked at all the strengths and not the weaknesses. I looked at eventually you can you can leave your job, you can retire early, and you can come help me at the church. You can help me with the company. We can travel the world together. As a matter of fact, now that you don't have this 9 to 5, we can have a home in Michigan, and in the wintertime, we can have a home in California. I looked at all the opportunities and not the threats. I gave all my energy to the opportunity. I gave all my energy to the strengths. I did not give my energy to the weaknesses or the threats. And your problem is, all you talking about is the threats.